Ooh, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're doing a tier list. It's tier list Tuesday, and we're going to tier list how well every team will do in the NHL this upcoming season. We have 5 tiers: cup contenders, playoff lock, bubble team, hopeful, and lottery team. I'm gonna rank these teams based on where I think they will be this season and how they will perform. And I don't know what kind of order this is, but we're just gonna go in random order, I guess. Detroit, I'll say they're a bubble team. I feel like they're like right there when it comes to trying to make the playoffs. Last year they missed it by a bit. I think the year prior they they didn't make it based on a tiebreaker, if my memory serves correct. So they're like right there. I think if they don't make the playoffs this year, or at the very least, it's maybe like if they miss more than like by 1 or 2 points, Yzerman might get fired. Jobbers in jeopardy, should be on the hot seat if they don't make the playoffs, or at least are not like extremely close. Hurricanes, I don't know if I'm just like a hater or whatnot. I don't know if they're cup contenders. Like their defense is really good. Like their 1 through 6 is really good. Their forwards are like solid, but I wouldn't say like, I don't think it would match up with like Florida, if I'm being honest. Like they don't have that true like superstar. Like Aho is good, but I don't see him as like that true superstar. And like their top 6 can't keep up with Florida's top 6. Like if I'm giving an example, like Florida has Barkov and Kachuk, and like their surrounding top 6 is extremely good. Whereas like Carolina, it's not like amazing. Yeah, they got Ehlers, which is probably a great piece to add. Hopefully Stan Coben takes a jump this year, but I don't think they'll be a cup contender when it's all said and done. I think they'll be like a playoff lock for sure. Maybe make the top 4, but I don't see them like even making the finals. Utah is kind of tough too. They missed by 7 points, but I think they're only getting better. Another year of Cooley and like Gunther developing, plus they added Paterka. I honestly think they will be a bubble team. I don't know if they'll make it, but I think they'll be in the hunt for it. Vegas is probably a cup contender, if I'm being honest. I hate to say it, but adding Marner I think really helps. I don't know how he'll perform in the playoffs because he's not really a good playoff performer, but on paper, like adding Marner to a team that has Stone and Eichel, like it's pretty deadly. Ducks, I'll say hopeful. I think they will make strides this year. Last year they missed by 16 points, which isn't really very hopeful at all, but I think they'll be better this year. They added some veterans in the off season, like Kreider and Granlund. I think that'll help. I think in like 2 or 3 years they'll probably be a bubble team, maybe even a playoff lock, but I think this year they'll be like where Utah was, maybe like 7 points out, something like that. Columbus is kind of interesting. I low-key think they kind of overachieved last year. They were like pretty close to making the playoffs, but they didn't. They missed by 2 points. I do think they overachieved, to be honest. I'll probably say a bubble team still. Like it's still the same team with a few different pieces tweaked here and there. Yeah, I think Marchenko will get better. That core will be better. Werenski has to duplicate what he did last year if they even want to try to sniff the playoffs. Their goaltending is a bit sus. Leaking kind of sucks, but hopefully Jet Greaves can play as good as he did towards the end of the season. Minnesota, they're probably a bubble team too, eh? They made the playoffs by like 1 point, but I don't know how good they'll be, to be honest. Probably a bubble team. I don't want to say lock because I think they're one of those teams in the West that could fall out, and say like Utah even jumping in, taking their spot. Yeah, I'll say bubble team. I don't really have like the most confidence in them. They're like the Islanders of the West, where like if you're picking a team to miss the playoffs, like you'll pick them. Speaking of the Devil, I'll say they're hopeful. Actually, they missed by quite a bit. They missed by 9 points last year. And I think they're low-key trying to retool. Like, they won the lottery and they got Matthew Schaefer first overall. And then they added Eklund and Aitchison with the other first-round picks to add to their other prospects in Yzerman and Ritchie. I think probably aren't like dying to win the cup this year. I think maybe like a retool on the fly would be good. Maybe they probably like try to finish where they did last year, kind of like a few points out of the playoff spot, but not like dead last. So I think they'll probably be around there. Chicago, probably a lottery team for at least this year, maybe the year after. I think they just don't have what it takes right now, even to be hopeful. Bedard really has to, he's still good. He's 60 points, like, which is solid, but, like, I think you would hope he has, like, at least maybe 75 plus points this year to see his development, to see some growth from him. But, I mean, he doesn't really have a great team around him. At least last year he didn't. Hopefully he plays with Nazar this year. I forget if he's a center or wing, but like his line mates just have to be better with him. I think they will be better. I think a lot of guys will take a jump, but I don't think it'll be that big of a jump where they are even hopeful for the playoffs. So, and I think the management will probably want to try to win the lottery and get McKenna, and then they can try to like, you know, hit the gas a little bit and start trying to be a winning team. Toronto is interesting. Definitely a playoff lock. I think still people are saying that they're going to miss the playoffs. I don't see that at all, to be quite honest. They still have Matthews and Nylander, and Tavares is on a great contract now, so like it's not really pressure on him to live up to his $11 million that he was once playing under. I think it's still a playoff lock. I think I like the pieces they added, even though they lost Marner. Like you added Waugh, Michelli, some other guys I'm blanking on, but like they're solid pieces. Like they just kept adding. They're like more well-rounded, I feel now. I don't think they're cup contenders though, just because like they haven't really shown anyone that they can be a cup contender since Matthews got in the league. Like they're not really forced to be reckoned with. They can make the playoffs, but that's kind of about it. Sharks probably same with Chicago, lottery team. I think the main focus is like the growth of the young guys like Celebrini, Smith, Eklund, maybe Misa if he plays in the NHL this year. Probably not, but you want to see growth from your young guys before you like even try to make the playoffs. I think Celebrini not having a sophomore slump is like, you need him to just build off what he had this rookie season, and Askarov is in that and he's like a rookie, or he's like super young at least, so you kind of just want to focus on the growth of the young guys. Calgary is interesting because I think they're like the definition of last year. They were the definition of an overachieving team. I honestly picked them to be last in the conference for some reason. I thought they're going to be that bad, but they actually just didn't make the playoffs based on a tiebreaker, which kind of sucks for them, but I think they'll be hopeful. I don't think a bubble team, I don't think they're that good. I think they will regress a bit. I don't know if Calgary is going to be a playoff team. I don't see it, honestly. I think there's a better team. There's teams that are better than them. Maybe they are bubble team, eh? I think Wolf will have a good year. He had a great rookie season. I think he can only bounce. I mean, he can only improve on that. I'll see bubble team. Obviously, Florida's a cup contender. Their core is like locked up to like 2030, so that sucks, right, guys? We all hate that. Look at these, my least two favorite teams in the league, side by side. I hate them both. Like, they're obviously cup contenders. They're back-to-back cup champions. They want to three-peat. If you look at the East, like, really, who's gonna knock them off to like not make it to the finals? I think you kind of just gotta hope that like I'm like talking from like a hater standpoint, but like you kind of just gotta like hope that like they're just like tired. They played a lot of hockey over the past 3 years, probably the most out of anyone. I mean, the finals 3 straight years. Maybe there'll be some like fatigue, but I don't know. I feel like these guys are too dialed in. Philadelphia got last in the Eastern Conference last year, and I don't know what to think of them. I think Michkov will have to play good again this year. Probably the lottery though. I think they're not going to be that good. Honestly, like what teams are actually going to be worse than them? Like they're not really in a rush to win. Jets are probably a lock. They lost Ehlers in free agency and they replaced him with Jonathan Taves, who hasn't played in like 2 years. So that's kind of a crazy downgrade. And their defense is still solid. Forwards are still good, minus Ehlers. Like I think they can win by committee. But they are low-key kind of playoff frauds. So I'd say they're a playoff lock, not a cup contender, even though they did win the President's Trophy last year. Montreal, they made the playoffs when like no one really thought they were going to make the playoffs like at all. They probably thought they were gonna be a lottery team. Is it overachieving that they did last year? Kind of, but I think they're also just that good. I think Suzuki kind of put them on his back low-key, and Lane Hudson was great. I'll probably say they're a bubble team still. They're at least bubble team minimum. A full year of Demidov would be pretty sick. They're still like super young. All their guys are still growing. Like Slavkovsky needs to have a better year, and they have a bunch of prospects that can come up, and yeah, they're a bubble team for me. Jersey's probably a lock. They had a good year as well. Yeah, I'd say they're playoff lock. Not a cup contender yet. They added some pieces like Connor Brown and someone else, I think I forgot. I don't think they have a cup winning roster as of right now. If they are a cup contender, like Jack Hughes has to stay healthy. He's just got to stay healthy, honestly, if that team wants to go anywhere. I think it's safer to just say playoff lock right now than cup contenders, because I don't really see them knocking off even Carolina, honestly, if I'm being honest. Rangers probably the most interesting team to grade here. I don't really know what to say. I think they severely underachieved last year. But like looking at them on paper, they're actually still a good team. And they added Gavrikov, which is like what they needed so bad on defense. A great defensive defenseman. I almost want to say playoff lock, and last year was just a fluke. Senators are probably a lock too. I don't see them getting worse than last year. They made it by like a sizable margin last year. They did not get worse in any facet. Their team is just like good. They didn't get worse at all. They added Jordan Spence on defense, which is pretty solid. Penguins are probably a lottery team. It's kind of uncharted territory for Mr. Sidney Crosby, but I think it's time. You got to embrace a rebuild there. They're probably just gonna hold on to like maybe they think they'll be a bubble team, but like in reality, like they're a lottery team. If you're Kyle Dubas, the general manager of the team, you kind of have to tank. The time to tank is no better than right now when you can get Gavin McKenna first overall. If there's any prospect that can try to replace Crosby, it would have to be McKenna, and hopefully Kyle Dubas realizes that. Otherwise, like if you try to go for the playoffs, like you're not gonna make the playoffs. I don't know what moves you could possibly make. Buffalo, probably a lottery team. I feel so bad for that fan base, man. They haven't made the playoffs since 2011, I'm pretty sure. What is that, like 1,000 years now? They like barely even made any changes to the roster. I don't know how they expect to make the playoffs when they just have the worst roster. I mean, on paper, like their roster is pretty good. They have Thompson, Darlene. I feel like there's no real winning chemistry there. You can have good players, but it's not a good team. I don't see them even being hopeful. I think the fan base is honestly kind of like just done with this team. But they're really nice jerseys though. The home and away are probably my favorite in the league. Top 3 for sure. Avalanche are probably cup contender. I mean, as long as you have McKinnon and Makar, you're like, that team is gonna go for it. And I really respect their GM for trying to go for it every year. Still think they're cup contenders. I think Blackwood was a great pickup, so they've solidified their goaltending. Dallas is obviously a cup contender. I think a full season of Rantanen will be good. You need Heiskanen to stay healthy, and you need Unger to play like how he can. Like their team is actually so good, it's kind of surprising. I'm kind of surprised as an Oilers fan, like they didn't make the finals this year. Their team was already stacked, and then you add like a top 15 player in the league to that, like they have to be a cup contender. They have a good core, and I feel like they're in win now mode. Just like these guys here, they're cup contenders. Yeah, they lost in the finals last 2 years. I'm aware, I was there, I was watching, but they are cup contenders, and especially if you want McDavid to stay, you have to be a cup contender. And I do feel like at the time I'm recording this on August 26th, he has not signed his extension, but I'm pointing my finger up, but he will sign an extension, I guarantee it, and no one can tell me otherwise. They're a cup contender as long as you have Draisaitl and McDavid. Just like as an Oilers fan, it's kind of amazing to me how we pay Nurse $9 million and we've made the finals back-to-back years. Like that kind of just says a lot about this team. How like Nurse is a good defenseman, but obviously he's not not worth $9 million. I like the additions of Isaac Howard, and hopefully Matt Savoy plays really good. Those 2 young guys playing on entry-level deals, like hopefully they make the team and make an impact, and we need that scoring throughout the lineup. I don't know what we're gonna do about our goaltending. I don't know why we still have Stuart Skinner as our starter. Like, yeah, we've gone to the finals with him as our starter, but like look at the numbers. Kings are probably a playoff lock, but like just barely. They made some bad moves, starting with hiring Ken Holland. I don't know why they hired him. They definitely could have found someone better than him, because he just brought back like players he signed prior, like in Edmonton. He brought in Perry and CC. Perry is good, but like they paid him what, $4 million, something like that. He's 40 years old, and like he's all right, but like you're paying him, like that's a big money for a 40-year-old. And CC is just like straight up bad, and you paid him $4 million or something like that, I think, for 4 years. It's brutal. And they didn't keep Gavrikov. You gotta hope Kemper remains in his Vezina form. I think their team got worse, to be honest, but I still think they can make the playoffs. Nashville is kind of, I think they're hopeful. I really think they like severely underachieved last year. I don't think they're that bad, but I think Yossi got injured, so that kind of hurts. I think he's gonna be injured start season 2. Yeah, I don't really know what to think of this team. Like, they're not good enough to make the playoffs, but they're not nearly bad enough to miss the playoffs and be a lottery team. So I think they're gonna try to go for it, but like I think if they start off slow, they'll probably try to tank, probably sell off some pieces and get some assets. I think they're just like then this random no man's land. Kind of same with Seattle. They don't really know what their goal is. They just keep adding middle 6 forwards. Like, there's no true superstar there. I mean, you can hope Shane Wright or Matty Beniers develops into that, but no, Shane Wright had a good year. He had 44 points. It was actually really solid. You gotta hope he continues to take a step. Maybe hit at least, maybe sniffing 60 points would be nice. I feel like there's just like no like real identity there of like which way they want to go, if they want to tank or be a bubble team or make the playoffs. Tampa is still a cup contender in my eyes, as long as you have Kucherov and Point and Vasilevsky and Hedman. Like you're gonna be one of the teams they pick for the cup. I think Hagel really blossomed. He had 90 points last year, so what a steal that was to pick him up from the Hawks. Australia is still good. Jake Gensel was a great pickup in free agency. I think they're still a cup contender. Vancouver, I think they want to try to get back to the playoffs. I don't know how they will. You gotta hope Demko stays healthy and he can play as good as he did 2 years ago. There's just a lot of questions around this team. I feel like how will Elias at Pedersen play? Like he was a 100-point guy and then now he's like anything less than like 80 points. I feel will be a disappointment. And you got to keep Quinn Hughes happy, and you don't want him to leave. Like that's a top 2 defenseman in the entire NHL. You want to keep that guy happy, and I don't know, hopefully he stays. I think for Vancouver's sake, I hope he stays. If he leaves, like that'll be so brutal to that team. They will have to just straight to be they would just have to go into a rebuild. I think they'll try to push for the playoffs just to show Quinn Hughes they're still competitive. But I think there's a lot of question marks around the team though. And then lastly is the Capitals. They did really good last year. They got first in the East. People thought they were gonna miss the playoffs last year, but I knew they would make the playoffs. I picked them to squeak into the playoffs, but I still had to make them playoffs. I think they're a playoff lock. Like everyone had a good season. Ovi reached the goal record, which was great. Everyone was rooting for him. Logan Thompson was a great addition. Same with Chikrin. And I think they're just a solid team. How many teams do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, yeah, that's pretty solid. Some teams here. How many teams do we have in the West? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I had to pick 2 more teams in the West to make it, probably Mammoth in the Wild. And then in the East, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I have my 8 teams. This is how I see this season shaking up. And yeah, this is my tier list. This is kind of how I see the NHL this upcoming year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know what you want me to see tier list next time. Goodbye, guys.